back. It's Doug here. I got another unboxing. I received this package in the mail from Bobby. Thank you, Bobby. This is a Delike New Moon 3, and I ordered this just about 12-13 days ago, something like that. So good shipping from China. And let's see what we got. A nice little box. This is the first time I've had a Chinese pen come in something other than just plastic. So this is what they generally come in, this plastic sleeve. A nice little box. I think I might use that as a gift box. But I think I'm going to keep this pen. I saw some online reviews for this Delike New Moon, and I really do like the color. I was afraid that the color that showed up wouldn't be as pretty as it showed online. It's a little bit darker in person than I'm seeing here on the screen, and so it's a little bit not quite as aqua. It's a little bit more green than you see on your screen right now, or at least I'm seeing on my screen. But it is a relatively heavy pen. Let's give it a try on the scale and see what the scale says. I've got a couple of my heavier pens here for reference. Got Jinhao X450. And let's see what the Delike comes in at. 37 grams capped. And this is a screw cap. Let's see what shows up as uncapped. 23 grams uncapped. As opposed to what I think is a fairly heavy pen, the X450 comes in at, well, 43. It's the same weight as that. 29. So it's a little bit lighter than the X450. Of course, here's my big 159. It's 49 grams capped. And about 30 grams uncapped. But again, I was not expecting the New Moon to come in any heavier than the X450. But I do like the X450's weight, so when they mentioned this was a metal pen, and I understand that they're made of brass and then covered with an enamel. So let's look at this guy. It has a plain chrome finial that screws into the top, I think, and attaches the clip. The clip seems to be fairly substantial, has some good spring to it, but not too much. Yeah, I can use that. Again, my disclaimer, I'm a guitarist. These are my guitar fingernails, so don't tell me to trim my fingernails because I play guitar. Thank you. Just for those of you that like to nitpick. And the body is this nice, this is called Moonlight Blue, is it? No, sorry, Mockingbird Blue. And it has a chrome collar on the cap that says Delike. Doesn't say anything on the back. Oh, but it's kind of a double band there. And then at the other end, there's an end finial. That's basic chrome. I do like the look of this pen. I was excited when I saw it in a review that it looks like something that has some good looks and good weight to it, and could be something I could use every day. So let's look at the inside of the pen. It has a fairly long section that's it looks like chrome. Not sure whether it is or not. It feels like metal, so it feels like the metal that is part of the rest of this. And those threads do feel like they are metal. And there's a Delike converter. I'm not sure that that's standard international, but most Chinese pens are. So seems to work. It actually seems more substantial than the converters that are in the Jinhao pens. So they seem to be fairly well made. Yeah, it slips right in there. Let's take a look at the nib if I can get my camera to focus on this. It says Delike, has some filigree work on it. It's supposed to be a medium, but we'll find out. And looks like a pretty standard plastic feed. And the section has it's not an extra ring, it's a part of the metal section here at the very end. And that is fairly smooth. I think that's going to fit in my hand. Yeah, it does fit in my hand very nicely. And because of the length of the section, my thumb isn't resting against these threads. It's one of the complaints I have of a couple of my other Chinese pens is the thread step down here is right on my thumb. But this is all very smooth. The only drawback might be that it can be fairly slippery. I'll have to write with it for a while to find out. Get just without any ink here, just to feel how the nib feels. It's not too bad. It's fairly smooth in the standard writing position like that. Getting a little bit scratchy here. I'll have to take a look at it under the magnifying glass and see whether it needs any smoothing or adjustment. Fairly good looking pen if you ask me. And you are asking me since you're watching this video. So I'm going to ink this up and we'll do a writing sample. Okay, so I've inked it up and got it running. It sort of ran right off the bat without a problem. Writing on a Rhodia 80 dot pad, and the pen does post. You can feel it pushing into that plastic cap that's on the inside. You can't see this black. Actually, it's black plastic threads there. But this feels like enamel, so and it feels like plastic on enamel. It doesn't really. I mean, I can get it on there so it's fairly secure, but if you knock it, it'll fall off. So it's not what I would call a postable pen. So let's see if we can get this thing writing here. This is the Delike. My name is Doug, so if I like this pen, D likes it. Delike New Moon 3. I don't know about the New Moon 2 or the New Moon 1, but this feels very comfortable in the hand. It's a bit short. When it comes to in your hand, feels a bit short, but the section is long, and so I'm really liking that. It's feeling very comfortable here. I thought it would be a little bit slippery, but it's feeling buttery smooth. This is advertised as a medium nib, and the ink I'm using here is Lamy Turquoise. Sort of a medium wetness. It's certainly laying down some good amount of ink, and it's feeling fairly smooth right now. Smooth in all these directions. Let's try it this way. A little bit of a feedback scratch there, not there, a little bit that way. So there is some feedback. I don't know whether you can hear it or not over the sound of my computer's fan, but let's do this. Oops. Very nice, smooth writing experience. I don't think I'll have to do any smoothing at all on this. Let's see if it's got any flex to it here. Thin lines, no railroading. Let's see if I can. No, it's fairly stiff. I'm not getting much line variation out of this at all, but that's fine. It looks like a number 5. I think that's as close as I can get. But it looks like a number 5 nib. I haven't tried to take the feed in the nib out yet, but I bet you it just friction fit. It's a Chinese pen, and I can probably replace this with a goulet if I wanted to, and put a stub in there if I wanted to, or even some kind of flex. But I'm not into flex writing. I'm just into straight writing. But maybe get a nib that has a little bit more character to it. But it is good looking and does feel fairly comfortable. There we go. Finally. And there it is. The Delike New Moon 3. And that's all she wrote.